From the Physical Education Building on the campus of Maryville College, it's time for Maryville College Scots basketball on WFBA television. Andy Southard along with Joe Black here at courtside for tonight's game as the Scots take on the Roanoke College Maroons from Roanoke, Virginia. And Joe, the Scots are coming off their first really big successful road trip of the season.
That's right. So far this year, their road record has been pretty terrible. But they went to Bridgewater on Friday night and then to Eastern Mennonite on Saturday night and came away with 2 big wins, making them 7-1 in the ODAC.
Tonight the Scots take on Roanoke, a pretty competitive team for them over the last few years. What can we look for?
Well, that's right. Roanoke has won the ODAC for the last 4 years in a row. And we're probably the preseason favorites this year. Maryville beat them up there, though, earlier in the year in what was Roanoke's worst loss ever in the history of their program, supposedly. They beat them up there 83-61. Won again here last year, beat them down here in what was a bit of a surprise match. So they weren't really sure what was going to happen up there, but they came away with a big win. Dan Sticks Kirkpatrick had a great game up there, scoring 25 points, his best game by far of the year, and they came away with a victory. They just got to hope for the same things. I asked Coach Lambert. He gave the pat answers that all coaches give. He said, we got to execute, we got to play defense. Of course, what else is new? So I think that is, if they can execute, if they can play their game, if everybody has a good game, I think they can expect to come away, and then they'll just almost take a commanding lead in the ODAC. With the next closest people having already 3 losses.
The Scots are currently 7-1 in the ODAC conference, leading Roanoke by a full 2 games now. We'll be back for tonight's tip-off right after this. Back at Maryville College. Tonight the Scots take on the Roanoke College Maroons. Getting set to announce the starting lineups here in the Maryville College Gymnasium. The Scots are 11-4 overall in the season right now and 7-1 in the ODAC Conference, leading the ODAC Conference by a full 2 games over this Roanoke College team. Joe, who can we expect to start for the Scots tonight?
Okay, starting for Maryville College will be D'Angelo McDaniels, Dan Sticks Kirkpatrick, who did have that great game against Roanoke in their first meeting. Ray Burnett, who will be moved out playing a bit more of a guard position tonight because of the injured Tom Robinson. Tyrone Matthews has been typically the strong 6th man, scoring double figures, will be the other starter inside, and then at the point guard will be Paul Mills.
An important loss for Maryville College, you might mention, Joe, was T.R. Robinson.
That's right. He went down in the win over Eastern Mennonite on Saturday night with an ankle injury. Expected to be out sometime maybe 2, maybe 3 weeks. I know he's anxious to get back for that return match against Eastern Mennonite. Starting for Roanoke College will be Reggie Thomas. He's a potential All-American, a very potent scorer. He will be at guard. 6'7" Shane Abernathy will start at forward. He is their other best player. 6' senior guard Rob Lowry, and 6'5" freshman forward Charles Small, number 41. At the other guard will be 6'3" freshman guard Jim Rocco.
That's the Roanoke College Maroons. Again, the 2 men to watch for Roanoke are Reggie Thomas, averaging 16.7 points a game, and number 24, Shane Abernathy, averaging 15.9. Roanoke College is 12-6 overall on the season, 5-3 in the ODAC. Again, they're 2 games behind Maryville College in the ODAC, and a win here for Maryville College would certainly boost their chances at winning the conference.
Well, it would, because the other game that they have with the leaders, among the leaders, is against Hamden-Sydney. They have to go up there to play Hampden-Sydney. So this is an important game. Like I say, they've been strong at home. Had some trouble on the road. It is important to note, though, that they have won 3 out of their last 4 road games.
The Scots started off the season very poorly on the road and have won 3 out of 4 on the road lately. The Roanoke College Maroons, an interesting note, Joe, they're 7-2 on the road, while only 5-4 at home.
That's unusual too. You know, everybody seems to prefer their home court advantage. That's quite an unusual statistic.
All right, we're set for the tip-off here at Maryville College. Shane Abernathy, number 24, the 6'7" senior for Roanoke, jumping against Dan Sticks Kirkpatrick, number 40, the 6'7" senior for Maryville College. And the tip's up, controlled by Burnett of Maryville College. Over in the corner to Tyrone Matthews, bombs it from 15 feet, and it's off. Fight for the rebound, and it's thrown off Kirkpatrick. Roanoke controls. Number 20 for Roanoke, controlling the ball, was Reggie Thomas. That's Rob Lowry bringing the ball down the court at the top of the key. Over to Thomas, back to Lowry, in the corner. Number 50 is Rocco, back at the top to Lowry. Rocco from the corner from 12, it's good. Roanoke up 2-0 here at the start of the game, 19:30 left in the first half. Kirkpatrick with the ball for Maryville College, over to D'Angelo McDaniel. Raymond Burnett at the foul line. Ball tipped out and stolen away by number 10, that's Lowry for Roanoke. He starts to lay the ball in and is fouled. Number 14, Paul Mills, the 6'0" junior from Knoxville for Maryville College, commits the foul. That's his first and the first of the game. 2-0, Roanoke leads, 19-12 in the first half.
Andy, they're playing Charles Small, number 41, on D'Angelo McDaniels that first time down court. He is known as their defensive specialist. He's a 6'5" freshman. Not much of a shooter or a bit of a rebounder, but he's on D'Angelo first time down court.
Matches up well with McDaniel. They're both 6'5". I wonder if the inexperience will hurt him against the senior, though.
Well, he's going to have a hard night of it playing against D'Angelo.
Number 50's Jim Rocco from the corner again. Nails home the basket. 4-0, Roanoke leads. Paul Mills brings the ball up the court for Maryville College. From 18, it's Mills off the mark. Dan Kirkpatrick controls the rebound. Fight on the floor. Roanoke College player dives in. That's Reggie Thomas, and they call the foul on him, slapping Dan Kirkpatrick underneath on the floor. That's the first foul on Thomas and the first foul against Roanoke College. Mills to throw the ball in for the Scots. Out to Matthews, number 32, and at the top to Burnett. Mills in the corner from 18, misses again. Rebound controlled by D'Angelo McDaniel. He tries to go back up, and he's fouled. 2 quick fouls inside. The Scots looking to go inside against Roanoke College.
Well, that's right. They have lost one of their other good, strong inside players. Of course, the Scots game has been typically to move the ball inside, and with Sticks looking healthier all the time, Tyrone Matthews in there, and of course D'Angelo McDaniel's playing strong as he has all season. That is probably the logical place for them to go.
D'Angelo McDaniel misses first free throw. He's averaging 77% from the charity stripe, averaging almost 21 points a game overall.
And right now there appears to be a lid on top of Maryville College's basket.
4-0, Roanoke leads. D'Angelo McDaniel breaks the ice, 4-1. Scots break the ice at 18:33 in the first half. Roanoke brings the ball back down the court, slapped away, but controlled by Roanoke. Number 20 is Reggie Thomas, throws the ball across court to Rocco at the top of the key. Lowry is 10. Rocco from the corner again, he's hot, 3 in a row.
Well, he's got all of their points
6
so
points,
far.
all from the same spot in the corner. Lob inside to D'Angelo McDaniel. He starts to go up. The ball slapped away and slapped out of bounds. And the ball goes to Roanoke. The students are back at Maryville College and very loud in the corner.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the best crowd, though. The stands are full for as full as I've seen them in several years. So despite the rain outside, everybody's come out for the game tonight.
Cold, messy night outside, but there's a full house in here tonight. Scots looking to up their record to 8-1 in the ODAC. Roanoke works the ball around the key from 18 feet. That's Reggie Thomas. He misses his shot. Ball saved back in bounds, but he stepped on the line. That's Charles Small. Bringing the ball back down the court is Mills from Maryville College. Walks past the timeline. 6-1, Scots down. 17:25 left in the first half. Burnett back over to Mills. Over to Matthews. Starts to dribble. Inside to Kirkpatrick. He goes for the drive, misses it, gets his own rebound, lays it back up, doesn't go. Fight for the rebound. Ball goes out of bounds off D'Angelo McDaniel, and Roanoke controls again. Maryville College still looking to get uncorked here in the first half. Can't seem to get anything going. 6-1, Roanoke leads. With Rocco having all 6 of those points for Roanoke from the corner. That's Thomas, the big scorer for Roanoke with the ball inside to Small. He goes up and foul is called. Tyrone Matthews, number 32, went up with Small and hacked him on the forearm. Roanoke coach Ed Green giving instructions to his players over here at the sideline. 6-1, Roanoke leads. A little less than 17 minutes here in the first half. Small for the first shot. It's good. 7-1, Roanoke. Small second shot's off the mark. Mills with a rebound. Brings the ball back up court quick. Burnett in the corner. Back to Mills at the top. Over to McDaniel. Drives. Puts up the shot. It's off. Foul is called inside as D'Angelo McDaniel starts to drive. That foul is on Small, Charles Small, a 6'5" freshman from Burke, Virginia, averaging a little over 9 points a game for Roanoke. D'Angelo McDaniel to the line for the second time this evening. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line and has Maryville College's only point so far as they're down 7-1. Daniel's first toss, it's off again. There is a lid on the basket tonight.
There is.
This is unusual for this team. The Scots shooting 77.2 from the free throw line as a team. Best in the nation. McDaniels hits the second shot. Player set to check in for Roanoke. That's number 54, Chris Winans, a 6'5" freshman center from Woodbridge, Virginia. With what looks like a painful knee, Joe. Roanoke back up the court. Inside, ball slapped out. D'Angelo McDaniel controls. Paul Mills brings the ball back down the court. Burnett in the corner, pulls up. Back out to Mills, over to Kirkpatrick, and in the corner, that's Tyrone Matthews. He hits it from 15 feet. 7-4, Scots trailing, 16:20 left in the first half. That may have broken the ice for the Scots, though. Let's hope it did.
I'd say Randy Lambert hopes he did, too.
Maryville College team up off the bench. Number 50 is Rocco. Number 10 for Roanoke is Rob Lowry with the ball now. Back in the corner to Rocco. He's been hot. He's hit 6 points for Roanoke so far. Inside, that's number 24, Shane Abernathy, the big man inside for Roanoke. Slapped out of bounds. Ball back over to Roanoke. Reggie Thomas set to throw it inbounds. He averages 16.7 points for the Maroons. Rob Lowry with the ball. Back in the corner, that's Reggie Thomas. He misses it. Off the mark, fight for the rebound. Kirkpatrick and Paul Mills, number 14 from Maryville College, comes with it, up with it, pushes it back down the court. D'Angelo McDaniel crashes to the floor. Foul is called. That's number 54, Chris Winans inside for Roanoke, committing the foul. D'Angelo driving hard to the basket. That's his style of play.
Well, they did, but Paul Mills really did a good job pushing the ball up court. A little delay on getting it on inside. We had 2 men, Matthews and McDaniel, sitting there waiting on the ball underneath, uncontested. Didn't quite convert on that one. We'll see if that lid's still back on it for the free throws.
McDaniel to the line. He has 2 points, both of them from the foul line. Misses it. Third trip to the foul line. He's missed all 3 of the first shots.
Well, they keep this up, and they're sure not going to lead the country in free throw percentage anymore.
That last play back down the floor for the Scots. Looked more like a typical Maryville College Scots play, though. Pushing the ball up the court fast and inside to McDaniel, crashing.
Well, they did, but you know they're going to be they're going to suffer from the loss of TR in that category. They're going to be a bit slower team.
McDaniel hits the second one for his third point. 7-5. Scots trail 15-40 in the first half. Reggie Thomas with the ball for Roanoke. Paul Mills guarding him. Scott's putting pressure on the ball. That's Rocco in the corner. He's hit 6 points. There he is again. Rocco from the corner misses his first one. Rebound Roanoke. That's number 24, Shane Abernathy, averaging 15.9 per game. The 6'7" senior. Scott's pushed the ball back up the floor. Tyrone Matthews over to Mills. Looking inside for D'Angelo McDaniel. Mills pulls up, takes the shot, guns it home. Paul Mills with his first 2.
Andy, we've got a mismatch under there. They have got Reggie Thomas playing on sticks Kirkpatrick. I don't have down what how tall Reggie's listed at. 6'1". Okay.
Listed in the press guide of Roanoke. That's number 41 Small with the turnaround jumper. He misses it, but Thomas gets the rebound, puts it back up and in. Randy Lambert wants the foul. Both teams up off the benches yelling for something.
Well, I used to think that Coach Randy Lambert was one of the more animated coaches I've seen, but Coach Ed Green for Roanoke Maroons could teach lessons on the subject.
Scots trail 11-7, 14-23 in the first half. Tyrone Matthews from outside from 16, guns it home. Scots down 11-9 now. Rob Lowry, number 10, with the ball, walking it up the court, taking instructions from his coach, Ed Green. Lowry over to Rocco. In the corner, that's Abernathy back at the top to Lowry. That's Rocco in the corner. And back out top. Roanoke looking for the good shot. Lowry takes it from the top of the key and hits it. That's his first 2 points of the game, and Roanoke goes back up by 4, 13-9. Paul Mills brings the ball up the floor for the Maryville College Fighting Scots. Down by 4 here in the first half. Burnett over to Tyrone Matthews. Back to D'Angelo McDaniel. He drives, has the ball slapped away, controls it, but can't put the ball down in the hoop. Roanoke controls the rebound. That's Lowry coming down the court, over in the corner. Reggie Thomas misses the shot. Mills brings the ball back up the floor for Maryville College fast. Inside, Tyrone Matthews can't handle the quick pass. It's off Matthews, out of bounds. Roanoke will control. Every time the Scots push it up the floor, something seems to happen.
Get sloppy. They look good coming down in their lanes, but they get sloppy.
Scots still trail by 4. Less than 13 left in the first half now. Roanoke over to Rocco in the corner. It's partially tipped. Burnett fight for the rebound inside. Kirkpatrick, Mills, and Matthews down on the floor, along with Small for Roanoke. Referees say Roanoke still controls.
Well, they get it on the alternate possession there.
Lowry with the ball. It's over to Rocco in the corner. Back to Lowry at the top of the key. It's off the mark. Rebound, Tyrone Matthews from Maryville College. 13-9 still. Down court to Burnett in the corner. Back to Mills from 18. This is it, off the mark. Sticks Kirkpatrick with the rebound, goes up, and it won't go down. Foul called before that basket went in. That foul is called on Charles Small, the 6'5" freshman. His first foul. Kirkpatrick will go to the line for 2 points. 12:20 left in the first half, 13-9, Scots trail. Kirkpatrick from the line, guns home the first one. Kirkpatrick with his first point of the game. He averages 8.6 a game, shooting 69% from the free throw stripe. Misses the second one. Burnett with the rebound, turns back up, misses the shot. Foul called inside. I believe that one's going to be on Tyrone Matthews. That's his second foul early in the first half with 12:16 to go. With T.R. Robinson out of the lineup, I don't think the Scots could afford to lose Matthews.
No, they couldn't, but they've been playing 8 and 9 players. Jeff White's played particularly well. In the last 3 or 4 games, I think he's averaging for those games 8.2, so he's close to double figures in the games where he's got a lot of playing time.
13-10, Roanoke leads with the ball. Lowry in the corner to Rocco at the top of the key. Inside, that's Abernathy. Misses it off the mark. But the rebound is controlled by Reggie Thomas, and he misses his shot. Nobody shooting well from the floor here so far. Mills with the ball for Maryville College. Trailing by 3. D'Angelo McDaniel drives hard all the way. They call the charge. No basket. No basket. D'Angelo McDaniel had fire in his eyes, I believe. He was going all the way no matter what.
And I think he made it a little bit obvious how far in he was going on the shot. Still a close call for him.
Referees say McDaniel charged. Basket's no good, and the Scots still trail by 3. George Lancho set to check in for the Scots. Try to get some offense going. Lowry with the ball for Roanoke. Over to Rocco in the corner to Abernathy, the big scorer for them. And I believe they called 3 seconds in the middle on that one. Roanoke working the ball around the perimeter. That a man was camped out in the middle.
Yeah, it's 54. Chris Winans, who took the charge off D'Angelo last time, maybe a little bit dazed and just fell asleep inside there.
Lancho in the lineup with the ball for Maryville College, and Jeff White, number 10, also in the lineup for Maryville College. Inside to McDaniel, charges in, goes to the board, gets the basket this time and doesn't commit the charge. 13-12, Scots cut the lead to 1 with 10:57 left in the first half. D'Angelo McDaniel has been the big man so far for Maryville College. That's Rocco in the corner for Roanoke. Works it inside. Ball stolen away by Jeff White on the floor. Ball rolling around, 2 men on it. Jump ball on the alternate possession. It should go to Maryville College. Well, the crowd is really into this one, Joe.
I'll tell you
I
what,
haven't seen the crowd like this here.
That's good to see. Got a good team. It's first chance that any Maryville College team has had to win 18 victories in a year in 50 years.
Jeff White from way outside, guns it home. The freshman from William Blount High School here in Blount County hits his first 2 points. Maryville College goes up for the first time, 14-13. Roanoke, that's Rocco. He misses that shot. Rebound is pulled him off by Winans. In the corner, that's Shane Abernathy with the ball. Cross court to Rocco. Back out to Lowry. Drives, dishes off to Shane Abernathy, and he hits that one. He's a 6'7" senior, averaging almost 16 a game. That's his 4th point of the game. George Lancho sets up the call for Maryville College. Down by 1 with less than 10 minutes now in the first half. D'Angelo McDaniel inside from 14. Off the mark, rebound, pulled off. That's Winans with the rebound. Cancel that. That's Jim Rocco with the rebound there, number 50. Ray Burnett sent to check in for Maryville College. Inside, that's Rocco, he scores. That's his 8th point of the game. Been the big man so far for Roanoke. Abernathy has 4. Up the court, Tyrone Matthews from deep in the corner. Short. Ball tipped out. Lowry controls it for Roanoke. Back down the floor in a hurry, goes all the way. Tyrone Matthews reaches in from behind and commits the foul, and that's 3 on Matthews. He'll come out. Raymond Burnett to replace him. 9:07 to go in the first half. Scots trail by 3 with 3 fouls on Matthews. Do you think we'll see him anymore in the first half here?
Well, they may put him in. He's going to set the most of the rest of the first half. They can't afford for him to get that 4th foul this quick. That last foul was pretty questionable. He got a little frustration came in on that one. He just hacked the man as he was driving in for 2.
Lowry, number 10 for Roanoke, is a very quick player. Jeff White steals the ball, runs into the referee, and it goes out of bounds. Jeff White with the quick hands for Maryville College. Ball rolled out of bounds after White crashed into the ref, and it goes back over to Roanoke.
Well, there was more than one person in the gym tonight that felt like 23 Adam Pryor fouled Jeff White after Jeff knocked the ball away from him.
A little pushing going on as they went for the ball. That's Abernathy outside. His 6th point for Roanoke. They go back up by 5. 19-14, Roanoke leads. Burnett in the corner for Maryville College. Things getting a little rough inside. That's D'Angelo McDaniel fighting his way up for the shot. It's off, and the rebound is controlled by Abernathy. Roanoke running. That's Reggie Thomas looking for his point. Misses it from 7 feet in the corner. And another foul called. Inside. And Jeff White doesn't like the call. And the foul was called on Chris Winans for Roanoke.
The foul was on Chris Winans. He went back up for the rebound, fouled him all across the man's back, an obvious foul. I was sitting here checking some stats, but a lot of people were pointing a lot of fingers at Reggie Thomas. Apparently something was done or something was said by Reggie Thomas, and I missed out on the whole thing.
Both Jeff White and Ray Burnett immediately went over to the referee and began to complain. 8:18 left in the first half. Scots trail by 5, 19-14, in what so far has been a very rough game underneath.
Well, it has, and but I still don't think that they called a lot of fouls so far, but I think that they're letting a lot of play inside. They're letting a lot of contact be inside, and Charles Fisher is one of the assistant coaches at for Roanoke, was sitting here in front of the scorer's table, pretty obviously out of the coach's box where he's supposed to stay, but he was conferring with one of the officials just about that very thing.
Players come out to the floor after the timeout. For Maryville College, McDaniels has 5, Matthews has 4. Mills and White both with 2 points, and Kirkpatrick with 1. The big man for Roanoke has been Jim Rocco with 8, and Shane Abernathy with 6. Maryville College set to bring the ball back in bounds, trailing by 5 with 8:18 left to go in the first half. Looking to cut the lead to 3. Paul Mills with the ball, number 14 for the Scots. Burnett in the corner, D'Angelo McDaniel over to Jeff White. Back to Mills. Inside to Dan Kirkpatrick, ball tipped away. Ball controlled by Burnett, but it's stolen away again. That's Rocco inside, back to Rocco. From 5 feet from the side, it's good. 21-14. Roanoke leads. 7:50 left in the first half. Scots need a basket. Can't seem to work the ball inside. There's D'Angelo McDaniel inside. He goes up for the shot. It's missed. Kirkpatrick goes back up. Shot's good, and there's a foul. Dan sticks Kirkpatrick. 6'7" senior from Miami, Florida, averaging almost 9 a game. Gets that. Shane Abernathy, number 24, commits the foul, and that's his second. 21-16, Roanoke leads. Kirkpatrick to the line, trying to complete the 3-point play. Off the mark. Rebound controlled by Abernathy for Roanoke. That's Adam Pryor with the ball for Roanoke in the lineup. That's Reggie Thomas, number 20, in the corner. Shot up, it's off the mark. Raymond Burnett with the rebound. Shane Abernathy off the mark on his shot. D'Angelo McDaniel looking to drive, pulls up short, passes off to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick lays it back to McDaniel, but he can't hit the shot. Running quickly back down the floor is Reggie Thomas for Roanoke, and he guns one up from 7 feet in front of the basket and gets it. 23-16, less than 7 minutes now left in the first half. Scots looking for a little control in their offense. Raymond Burnett from outside. It's off the mark again. Kirkpatrick with the rebound and lays it in for his 5th point. Dan Kirkpatrick starting to control inside for the Scots now.
Well, he's going to have to, the way the game's going so far right now, he's going to have to do that. Yeah, they've been doing a pretty good job on the offensive rebounds, but they haven't been converting. They've been getting the ball inside off those rebounds and just missing the shot.
In the corner, that's Rocco for Roanoke. Nails it home. That's his 12th point. 10 of those coming from in the corner, those long shots. 6:12 left in the first half, 25-18 now. The Scots trail. Rocco's only averaging 4.7, so he's way above his average already. McDaniel's tied up inside, throws it out of bounds. It bounces off himself. Roanoke will control. D'Angelo McDaniel was looking for somebody to throw the ball to. There's Tyrone Matthews coming back in with 3 fouls, and McDaniel goes to the bench for a rest.
Well, he set right at 4 minutes, and 6 minutes to go. There's a lot of ball to be played here.
Roanoke with the ball, up by 7 points, 25-18. Under 6 minutes now in the first half. Inside, that's Reggie Thomas, drives, passes off to Abernathy. He can't get the shot to go. Players go up for the rebound. The foul's called. That's Chris Winans, and that's his 3rd foul inside. Chris Winans is 6'5", 205-pound freshman for Roanoke College. 25-18, the Scots trail here. Scots are in the bonus, and Raymond Burnett will go to the line for 1 and 1. Jim Rocco, been the big man for Roanoke so far with 12 points, only on a 4.7 average.
Well, we've been expecting things from Shaven Abernathy and Reggie Thomas, and they combined for 10 points.
Raymond Burnett misses the front end of that 1 and 1. Scott's not shooting well from the free throw stripe here
They're not
tonight.
shooting well from anywhere tonight.
Lowry with the ball. Roanoke up by 7. Their biggest lead of the game so far. 5:15 left in the first half. Tough defense being played by the Scots. Without those 12 points from Rocco outside, it might be close. Lowry with the ball. Mills playing Lowry tight on the defense, and they finally call the reach. Paul Mills, number 14 for Maryville College, that's his 2nd foul. Matthews with 3 for the Scots, and Mills with 2. Very tenacious defense inside for both teams. The refs are letting it go pretty much.
Well, they are. It's surprising. This is not generally the way these basketball games are called.
Lowry with the ball. Mills goes to the floor, nothing called. Small with the ball inside, looking for somebody to dump it off to. He doesn't want it. Back off to Lowry, and he walked. Lowry walks, and the Scots get the ball trailing by 7 with 4:48 to go in the first half, looking for a basket. Jeff White on the floor for the Scots, along with Burnett, Mills, Tyrone Matthews, and Dan Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick with 5 points so far, and McDaniel's also with 5 for the Scots. He's sitting on the bench. Raymond Burnett to Tyrone Matthews, has the ball slapped, but he holds on to it, turns around and takes the shot from the foul line. It's missed, and the rebound's controlled by Charles Small, a 6'5" freshman, averaging 9.1 points per game for Roanoke. D'Angelo McDaniel set to check in for the Scots. That's Lowry with the ball to Small at the top of the key. Back over to Rocco. Reggie Thomas in the corner from way outside. It's off the mark. And Matthews and Kirkpatrick fight for the rebound. Kirkpatrick comes out with it and gives it over to Mills. Mills with the ball for the Scots. Still 25-18. Haven't seen much scoring here in the last couple of minutes. Paul Mills from 18 feet. It's good. 25-20.
They need that. They've been clogging up the middle too much because of so much of a lack of outside shooting.
Scots had gone several minutes without scoring and break the ice at about 3:30 left to go here in the first half. Down by 5 now. Roanoke with the ball. That's Abernathy. Dribbles, drops the ball.
No call.
No call. Inside to Thomas, he spins around and misses the shot. Abernathy gets the rebound, misses again, gets his own rebound, starts to go up. Dan Kirkpatrick hammers him on the forearms. Tyrone Matthews goes to the bench for the Scots. He has 3 fouls, and back in is D'Angelo McDaniel. Daniel, the 6'5" senior, averaging 21 points for the Scots. Checks back in, he's got 5 points here and 1 foul. Scots need to get McDaniel uncorked inside and get some points going. Trailing by 5 here. Abernathy's first shot is missed. neither team shooting very well from the free throw stripe here.
Well, this is a big game for both teams. There's a big revenge motive on Roanoke's part. They want to come in here and win. Maryville College doesn't want to lose their first game at home.
Maryville College undefeated at home this season, went up to Roanoke and won up there. Abernathy hits his second foul shot, 26-20, 3:10 in the first half. Jeff White with the ball. Inside to Burnett. Dan Kirkpatrick all alone under the basket, misses the shot. Charles Small came up and covered him. Roanoke with the ball, leading by 6. Slowing it down here. Ed Green, the coach for Roanoke, barking out instructions to Lowry. Last time that happened, Jeff White slapped the ball out of bounds. Abernathy inside, it won't go down from in front of the basket, gets his own rebound, it won't go again. Tipped out of bounds by McDaniel or Kirkpatrick from Maryville College, and the ball goes back over to Roanoke. Both teams in the bonus here with 2:36 to go in the first half. That's Rocco from the top of the key. He misses that shot. Rebound out, Abernathy. I thought he walked, but he didn't. But then again, I'm not a referee, Joe.
I wouldn't be wanting to call this game tonight anyway.
Charles Small in the corner, looks to shoot. He does, misses it. Rebound, Dan Kirkpatrick. Scots finally control, come down the floor trailing by 6. Burnett in the corner for Maryville College. Around the horn, inside to D'Angelo McDaniel. He's up, and it rolls around the basket, goes down. D'Angelo McDaniel with his 7th point. Scots down by 4 now. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. Scots would like to cut that lead by halftime. Roanoke with the ball, that's Small in the corner. Back out to Rocco, he's had the hot hand. Back to Small. Crowd getting loud here, wanting some defense. Small drives in from 15 feet and misses it. D'Angelo McDaniel. Dan Kirkpatrick comes up with the rebound. Raymond Burnett drives down the floor, pulls up from 14, misses it. Ball missed. Charles Small crashes into the wall, tried to save it, but can't. Ball back over to Maryville College. 1:25 to go, 26-22. The Roanoke College Maroons lead here at Maryville College. Inside to White, at the top of the key to Burnett. Over to Mills.
And you can look for the ball to go inside right now. They got Chris Winnens in there with 3 fouls and Shane Abernathy out.
Mills pulls up from outside, misses the shot from the top of the key.
Shoot from the outside, just as I said. They're going to shoot from the outside. They're not going inside.
They need to be pushing it inside with 1 minute to go here in the first half. Looking for that 3rd foul on Winnens, the 6'5" man in the middle. Number 20 is Reggie Thomas, averaging 16.7 points per game here, but he only has 4 so far. There's Thomas with the ball. Drives in, pulls up from 15, guns it home. 6 points for Thomas. Maryville College trails by 6. 38 seconds left in the first half. Paul Mills brings it up. Are they going to look for the last shot, Joe?
I think they'll take whatever opportunity gives them. Well, Coach Lambert's sitting. Well, I tell you what, I guess I better stick with what I'm doing and not be a coach. Coach Lambert's sitting over there calling for 1 call.
Mills looks at the bench and Lambert tells him to pull it out and go for 1 with 15 seconds now left. Clock counts down. 10 seconds. Mills with the ball, back over to White. 6. White in the corner, guns it up from 14, won't go. Kirkpatrick with the tip with 1 second, it won't go. And the buzzer sounds. The first half ends 28-22. Roanoke College leads the Maryville College Scots. Randy Lambert out on the floor wanting a foul. After the referee, some students out on the floor for Maryville College now.
Well, the
crowd's fired up.
Well, we got a terrible situation. We got both coaches sitting out here arguing with the referee. It's an obvious foul. You know, they just hammered him. And then all of a sudden everybody's talking. Of course, Randy Lambert, I don't want to sound like the homegrown material that I am, but you know, Coach Lambert's out here and he's getting pretty aggressive for a call that he felt like he should have had. Goodness knows why Ed Green was out there. I'll just have to leave it at that, though. I'm getting a little subjective about this.
Both coaches have been very loud for both teams this evening so far, and it's been a rough game so far. The Scots trail by 6 at halftime. A lot of fouls early in the game.
There have been, and I don't know. I guess I'll just say there was one less foul the one more foul right there that should have been called. We'll leave it at that.
Once again, the score. Roanoke 28, the Scots 22. We'll be back with the second half right after this. We're back at halftime at Maryville College as the Scots trail 28-22 against the Roanoke College Maroons this evening. Andy Sutherlong with Joe Black this evening. Somebody asked at halftime if we were going to have championship wrestling in the second half.
Well, it looks like that, and this game could be even more intense in the second half than it was in the first.
It's been a very physical game, and because it's been so physical with a lot of fouls, the shooting percentages are very low for both teams. The Scots shooting only 30% from the field, Roanoke shooting 35%. And very unusual for the Scots, they're not shooting very well from the free throw line either.
Well, they've been 10 times and only hit 4 of them for 40%. You know, that's pretty poor for the team that was leading the country. And we're talking about the nation in Division III basketball with a 77.2% free throw percentage. So it's just been a miserable night, both from the charity stripe as well as from the field for the Scots.
Scots are also being out-rebounded 21-15 here.
Yeah, and if it hadn't been for that last little stretch there, with Sticks got several in a row right there before the end of the first half, that statistic could have been even more miserable than what it is right there. I know that's one of the keys that Randy Lambert said before the game would be to the victory for the Scots would be in the rebounding category.
Referees have got both teams at the center of the court, and I think he's admonishing them about the roughness of play in the first half.
Well, I think so. You know, they're letting a lot of things get away from them, and that's a real reflection of the coaches too. I think without being too one-sided, you know, I think Ed Green has got a little bit too much into the game. Randy Lambert gets into the game all the time. Everybody's a bit anxious about this one, though.
We ended the first half with both coaches out at half court arguing with the referee. We're underway in the second half. Scots trailing by 6. And immediately, Dan Kirkpatrick comes up with a tipped ball. Paul Mills racing down court for the Scots. Paul pulls up from 7 feet and gets the basket. Scots underway to a good start here in the second half. 28-24 in the second half. We're underway at Maryville College. Roanoke with the ball, that's Lowry. Over to Rocco. Rocco was the big man for Roanoke in the first half with 12 points. Lowry number 10 at the top, Rocco 50 in the corner. Cross court, that's Reggie Thomas. Misses from way outside, rebound inside Abernathy. Fakes, goes back up, gets the ball inside, makes the shot. And Roanoke goes up 30-24 with 19 minutes left in the second half and in the game. Inside, ball forced in bounds to Tyrone Matthews. He can't handle the pass. And the ball goes out of bounds over to Roanoke. Inbounds, that's Lowry bringing it down court, number 10. Roanoke up by 6 points with the ball, leading 30-24. Reggie Thomas, number 20 at the top of the key, had 6 points in the first half. Number 41 is Charles Small in the corner.
Roanoke's playing a much more deliberate game this half, Jeff.
Shot off the mark by Charles Small, pulled off the rebound. Tyrone Matthews started to shoot, pulled up from 15 feet, passes inside to Dan Kirkpatrick, and he makes the shot from in front of the basket. He's got 7 points. Scots pulled to within 4, 30-26. 18 minutes left here in the game. Roanoke comes out in a much more slow offense. Thomas from in the corner. D'Angelo McDaniel rips off the rebound. Swings a few elbows to show he's the man inside.
Well, I think D'Angelo's been fouled so much when he's gone inside that he's getting a little frustrated by no calls.
Ray Burnett from 18 misses it off the mark. Thomas with the rebound, and he brings the ball up court in a hurry. Passes inside. Paul Mills steps in front of the pass, gets the steal, goes all the way down. Tyrone Matthews for the layup. It's good. Scots cut the lead to 2 points. Ed Green, coach for Roanoke, wants a blow. 17:27 left in the game. Scots have cut the lead. It's 30-28. back at Maryville College in the second half with 17:27 left to go. Scots trail 30-28 against Roanoke. They trailed 28-22 at halftime and have since cut that lead to 2 points. Scots off to a good start, Joe.
Well, it looks like the Scots that we're used to seeing here that haven't lost a game this year in this gym.
Roanoke brings the ball up the court. That's Lowry with it, number 10. Inside, top of the key, that's Abernathy. (30-28), Roanoke leads. 17 minutes left to go in the game. Back outside to Lowry. The Roanoke College Maroons, looking for the good shot, have slowed the ball down considerably here in the second half.
Much more patient team this half.
Scots have outscored Roanoke 6-2 here in the second half, with a little over 3 minutes having gone by. 30-28, Scots trail. Roanoke with the ball. Reggie Thomas starts to go up. He's fouled in the lane by Paul Mills. Paul Mills and Ray Burnett both on him, and they call the foul on Mills. And on Mills, that's his second foul. Matthews, the only player from Maryville College with foul trouble. He's got 3. Number 32 in the lineup now for Scots. Lowry with the ball for Roanoke, leading by 2. Starts to drive on Mills.
What they're doing, they're pulling out. They want to match up Reggie Thomas. Right now, they're matching up with Ray Burnett. They're wanting to get him 1-1.
That's Shane Abernathy, 6'7", senior, averaging 16 points a game. Guns home his 11th point. D'Angelo McDaniel drives for the Scots inside, won't go down. No foul called. McDaniel on the floor. Tyrone Matthews dives for the ball but can't save it, and Roanoke takes the ball out of bounds. Scots trail by 4 now. A little less than 16 minutes left to go in the game. Reggie Thomas is a 6'1" senior, number 20 for Roanoke. He only had 6 points in the first half, still only has 6 points. He's averaging almost 17 a game, so they'll be looking to work him free here in the second half for some big points. D'Angelo McDaniel out on Rocco, number 50. Rocco drives all the way in from the lane, crashes to the floor, and they call the charge. Dan Kirkpatrick was set up inside. Rocco ran right over him for his second foul.
Well, he got to step on D'Angelo, which won't happen to anybody very often. Got back there, but Sticks is standing there waiting on him. The guy was determined to go all the way to the basket, but he didn't have a chance.
Dan Kirkpatrick, the big man inside from Maryville College, sets up and takes the charge. Maryville College with the ball, trailing by 4, 32-28. Inside to Tyrone Matthews. Dishes off to McDaniel. Gets the easy layup. That's the Maryville College we're used to seeing here.
That's it right there. You know, good passing, good crisp passing. Work the ball into D'Angelo to let him take it to the hoop.
McDaniel's now with 9. Scots trail by 2 again. Have trailed by as much as 7 in this game. Trailed by 6 at halftime. And have cut the lead to 2 at 32-30. Roanoke with the ball. That's Lowry. Inside. That's Small with the ball, being fronted and backed by 2 players, Mills and McDaniel. They call the foul on Mills. That's his 3rd foul. So Matthews and Mills from Maryville College both have 3 fouls. With less than 15 minutes to go in the game. That's Rocco from way outside. He hit a few of those in the first half. Misses that one. Dan Kirkpatrick. Mills runs over Lowry. No foul called. Tip up by Abernathy. And he controls. Lowry with the ball all the way down to Reggie Thomas. Blocked. Dan Kirkpatrick, the big man in the middle, rejects the ball. And Mills comes down, pulls up from 8 feet in front, and scores the basket. And we're tied. 32 all. We're tied here at Maryville College with 14-19 left to go in the game. George Lancho set to come in for the Scots. And the Scots are starting to get into this game.
Hey, a block shot like that will do it for you every time.
Everybody in the stands on their feet. Player falls to the floor, nothing called, no walk. touched the ball to the court, but nothing called. Back out to Rocco, number 50, over to Lowry. That's Lowry, number 10. 32-32, we're tied at Maryville College. Reggie Thomas pulls up, takes the shot from 8, misses it. Charles Small ripped the rebound, but he gets the foul. And that's his second foul. The second foul on Charles Small, and he didn't like the call. Maryville College with the ball, looking to take the lead for the first time in the game, with 13:46 left to go in the game. 32 all here. Lancho, number 33 in the lineup, replaced Mills. D'Angelo McDaniel pulls up from 7 feet in the corner, guns it home. McDaniel now with 11, and the Scots go up by 2. Their first lead. They've trailed by as much as 7. Roanoke still playing the patterned offense in the corner to Small. He misses the shot. Abernathy with the rebound goes up, and a push is called. He had Kirkpatrick and Burnett on him, and the foul is called on Raymond Burnett, his second foul of the game. D'Angelo McDaniel with 11 points for the Scots. Kirkpatrick has 7, and more importantly, he's had some tenacious defense inside in the second half so far.
Well, he has, and they're going to have to get better here. 2-point lead's not anything to sit on.
Abernathy at the foul line, his team trailing by 2. He misses the first one. Shane Abernathy, a senior from Appomattox, Virginia, averaging almost 16 points a game. So far, he's got 11 here. Hits the second one. 34-33, the Scots lead. They've got the ball. George Lancho brings it down past half court for the Scots. Tyrone Matthews in the corner for the Scots, number 32. Inside to Kirkpatrick. He looks around for somebody to pass it to. And it ends up back in the corner after they throw it around the horn. Tyrone Matthews back to Lancho in the corner to Burnett. 12:44, Scots lead by 1. D'Angelo McDaniel crashes inside, and now he's got 13 points. D'Angelo McDaniel coming on in the second half. Scots lead by 3.
That's a good basket right there. Good play. You know, a little bit more patient as they needed to be there, more patient than they have been. Set up a great play.
McDaniel seemed to be frustrated in the first half, but he's broken loose in the second half now. Number 50 for the Roanoke College Maroons is Jim Rocco. He guns home his 14th point. He's been the big scorer so far. Shot outside by Burnett is missed. Rebound Small for Roanoke College.
Well, Burnett's not scored tonight. You know, he's averaged double-digit figures tonight. Some of the others are starting to get the lid off the basket. His is still on there.
Roanoke with the ball, trailing by 1 point, 36-35. Less than 12 to go in the game now.
You know, Andy, that's surprising too, because Raymond's got a beautiful touch there. He just not quite got it tonight.
Burnett averages 55% from the field and 11 points a game. Yet to score here tonight. Small drives the lane. Kirkpatrick sets up, but he's called for the block. Charles Small drove in. Kirkpatrick was in front of him, but wasn't set long enough. That's his second foul. 36-35, Scots lead. Jeff White checks in for Maryville College, the freshman from William Blount High School here in Blount County. He's got 2 points on the game, a long bomb from outside in the first half. That's Charles Small at the line for Roanoke. Misses the first shot. Neither team shooting very well from the foul line.
That's going to blow everybody's percentages for the year.
Charles Small only has 1 point for the game. 36-35, Scots lead. He makes the first one, and we're tied for the second time in the game. Well, really for the third time if you count 0-0. 11:29 left to go in the game. Scots with the ball. They've only led by as much as 2, and that was recently in the second half. Trailed by as much as 7 in the first half. Lancho with the ball, drives around the left side, pulls back out. Inside to Kirkpatrick, he looks to shoot, pulls up from 12 feet from the side, misses it. And Abernathy with the rebound for Roanoke. Lowry pushes the ball up court. Tie game, 11 minutes left to go. A low-scoring game so far. The Scots average 81 points a game.
Yeah, they had 22 at halftime. Well, that's well below. They've gotten routinely more points than that per quarter.
Abernathy drives on McDaniel, pulls up from 10 feet and misses the shot. Lancho brings the ball back down court. He's got a man wide open, Tyrone Matthews for the layup. It's good. 38-36, the Scots back up by 2.
George picked up assist and a rebound on that and up his percentages in both categories.
Beautiful pass by George Lancho across court to Tyrone Matthews, who's laid it back in over his head. Rocco in the corner. Back to Lowry, the top of the key. That's Thomas. Back to Abernathy from 10. Bangs it home. 14 points for Shane Abernathy. He averages 16 a game, and we're tied again with 10 minutes to go. 38-38 at Maryville College. Inside the pass to D'Angelo McDaniel. It's tipped back out of bounds by Reggie Thomas. And Maryville College controls the ball. Tyrone Matthews to throw the ball back in. Less than 10 to go here in the second half. Maryville College with McDaniel and Kirkpatrick inside their 2 big men. McDaniel working inside. Lancho almost lost it, went down on his knees and passed it back out. Shot missed. Kirkpatrick with the rebound. Won't go. Lynn on the basket again. Tyrone Matthews pushes it back up. Shot will not count. Shane Abernathy committed the foul for Roanoke College.
I believe they got that one for Reggie Thomas' second one.
Okay, Reggie Thomas, number 20 inside. A crowd of players inside going up for the rebounds. Paul Mills comes back in for Maryville College. Lancho comes out. Scots have got White, McDaniel, Mills, Kirkpatrick, and Matthews on the floor. That's Mills. He started the shoot but pulls up. Back to Matthews. Scots and Roanoke are tied 38 all. Tyrone Matthews long from the corner. Guns it home for his 10th point. 40-38. Scots lead by 2 here. 9:15 left to go in the game. Lowry pushes the ball back up court for Roanoke. Over to Rocco in the corner. Tyrone Matthews crashes into the bench on the block. And Rocco gets his 16th point. He's been the big man for Roanoke so far. Mills with the ball for Maryville College. His team tied at the moment with Roanoke. Kirkpatrick over to Mills. Back over to Tyrone Matthews. Another long shot, 18 feet. Nothing but strings. Tyrone Matthews is hot from way outside. 12 points for him.
That's a good basket for them. They desperately needed that, and they seem to be getting it here in the second half. That's definitely the difference.
Matthews with 8 points now in the second half. That's Rocco. Jim Rocco, 18 points for Roanoke College. 42 all again. And Maryville College wants a timeout. With the timeout, score 42-42. We'll take a break with 8:21 left to go in the game. Back at Maryville College, 8:21 to go in the game. Scots and Roanoke College are tied at 42. It's been quite a second half.
Well, it has, Jeff, and we're going down to the wire on this one. You know, we're not going to see either team. Both teams are well matched up. They're playing just about the same games. Neither team's particularly hot. Nobody's getting any real advantages, so this one's going to the wire.
The level of roughness here seems to have calmed down a little bit in the second half. Not nearly as many fouls or rough play inside, but it's very aggressive still.
Well, it is. It is. It's not nearly a sloppy play, and the coaches don't seem to be trying to get as involved in the game as they did in the first half.
Ray Burnett has checked in for Maryville College. Paul Mills with the ball, number 14. 42-42, a little over 8 minutes to go in the game. Tyrone Matthews, he's hot, misses that one though. He had hit 2 in a row from 18, he misses that one. And Roanoke controls. It's Lowry with the ball. Lowry, a 6'0 senior, averaging a little over 4 points a game. He's been the point man all evening for the Maroons. Inside, that's Small, and kicks it back out, accidentally to Rocco. He misses the 7-footer. And the ball's tipped back out. Mills fights for it. Matthews runs into the player going for the ball, and they call Matthews for his 4th foul. Ball was kicked outside. Mills, Lowry, and Tyrone Matthews went after it. Matthews dove for the ball and hit Lowry, and they called him for the foul.
Yeah, there's a little doubt about that one. I think Tyrone tripped on the way toward the ball, and no doubt about the foul. They've got to get him out, though. 4 fouls in here, and even though he has been a key on the offensive end of the court, they're going to have to get him out.
Roanoke with the ball, 7:36 to go here in the game, 42-42. Shot up is missed. Ball goes on top of the backboard. Mills controls it, but it's tipped back out into Small's hands. Ooh, Dan Kirkpatrick goes up high on the rim. They want the goaltending call, but I don't believe they'll get it. They called the foul before the shot. Paul Mills is called for the foul.
Well, Paul bumped him as he was going up and picked up his 4th foul there.
2 men in foul trouble for the Scots now. That's Matthews and Mills, both with 4. Mills comes out. He's got 8 points from outside for the Scots. Lancho checks in. Lancho, White, McDaniel, Kirkpatrick, and Burnett on the floor for the Scots. Reggie Thomas set to throw it in for Roanoke to Lowry. Reggie Thomas only with 6 points. He's an All-American candidate, averaging 16.7 on the year. Roanoke looking to set up the play. 7:10 to go. We're still tied at 42. Scots have outscored Roanoke by 6 here in the second half. That's Jim Rocco with the turnaround jumper. It won't go down. D'Angelo McDaniel with the rebound.
Rocco's been hitting that shot. That's been his. That's one of the few that haven't fallen. He's 18 points is way over his average. He's playing over his head tonight.
He's been a surprise. We expected Abernathy and Thomas to score like that, but not Rocco.
Well, actually, Thomas with 6 points has been got to be a disappointment for them tonight. They've been pushing him as an All-American candidate, but he hasn't shown much of that tonight.
Scots work the ball around the horn, looking for the basket and looking for a lead. Smalls pushes White down. No foul called. Lancho drives on Lowry, and they're going to call it on Lowry for the block. Number 10, Lowry, called for his first foul. So the point guard for Roanoke tallies up a foul.
Well, if he's going to stay with George, he's going to foul him. One way or another, he just can't. He's going to have to play with his body, get it in front of him a little bit, and try and cut him off. And he's going to pick up some fouls that way. There's no way that Lowry can play with Lancho up like that. Not regarding him that close.
Lancho, a very quick freshman guard from Miami, Florida. He's got the ball now for the Scots. Scots need 2 points to take the lead here. 6 minutes left, 42-42 at Maryville College. Jeff White with the ball. Back to D'Angelo McDaniel, whips it around, back to White. Back out to Ray Burnett, inside to Dan Kirkpatrick, he gets it. Kirkpatrick fights up and gets his 9th point. Scots go back up by 2 with 5:40 left in the game. And it looks like it's going to be nip and tuck from the rest from here on out. We've had several ties here in the second half. Scots now have their biggest lead again at 2. George Lancho kicks it out of bounds. Quick defense.
Quick, goodness gracious, George is quick. You can't teach that either, boy. He comes back natural.
Small with the ball for Roanoke. Looking inside to Abernathy, but can't get it there. Lowry at the top of the key, back over to Reggie Thomas. Set to check in. Number 11, Bobby Burrell. Haven't seen him in the game so far. Lowry started to shoot, pulls up. That's Rocco, the big scorer so far. Takes it from 15 and guns it home. Well, he's been a surprise. He's got 20 points. He only averages a little less than 5 a game. Less than 5 minutes now. Tied at 44. George Lancho sets it up for Maryville College. Back to Burnett. Lancho and Burnett trade passes. Lancho pulls it back out to half court. Looking to pull Roanoke out of the zone.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely want that. They don't feel like that. Right now they've got Thomas guarding D'Angelo McDaniels. That should be a mismatch.
Lancho drives all the way, feeds off to D'Angelo McDaniel. It's kicked back out. There's a fight on the floor. And on the alternate possession, the ball goes over to Maryville College. Lancho and Reggie Thomas were fighting on the floor for the ball, tied each other up.
These two teams have come out here in the second half realizing that what they're out here for, much more class basketball being played out there. You know, a lot less harsh words being offered from time to time. Teams are not really cordial, but they are at least getting along out there.
We were very close to a free-for-all near the end of the first half. It's calmed down considerably, but a very aggressive game. Burnett started to shoot, pulls up. Mills drives, pulls up from 16. It's short. Off with the rebounds, Bobby Burrell in the game for the first time for Roanoke. Reggie Thomas with the ball, back to Burrell. 5'8", sophomore. That's Charles Small from 15 in front. Misses the shot, but there's a foul inside. And they're pointing the finger at Kirkpatrick. And if it's him, and it is, that's his third foul. So the Scots have got some fouls inside with 4 minutes to go, and the game tied. Kirkpatrick with 3, and Burnett and Matthews and Mills both have 4. Lowry checks back in for Roanoke. Bobby Burrell goes back out after a brief appearance.
I think they had put him in there to try and match up quickness with Lancho. Lancho's out, Lowry's back in.
That's Abernathy at the line. First one's good. 15 points for Abernathy on a 15.9 average. He's a senior, 6'7", 215 pounds. Second shot, and it's good also. Roanoke goes back up 46-44, 4 minutes left in the game. Paul Mills brings it back down the court for the Scots. Tight game. In the corner to Ray Burnett. Inside, D'Angelo McDaniel. It's slapped out of bounds by Abernathy. And Maryville College will control. Mills to toss it in. Down by 2 points. Ray Burnett in the corner to Jeff White. Back to Burnett, back to Mills. Ray Burnett from way outside. Off the mark. Dan Kirkpatrick with the rebound. He crashes to the floor, tripping over several players. Tried to throw up a shot. Fell way short. And they call the foul on number 24, Shane Abernathy, Roanoke. That's his third foul. Quite a few fouls inside on the big men for both teams. 3:32 left in the game. Scots trail by 2. They're not in the bonus yet. Mills to throw it in. Ray Burnett at the top, over to Jeff White. Paul Mills with the ball. 3:20 left to go. Jeff White, zip. 19 feet, that's his 4th point. Game tied at 46 again. Jeff White, the freshman, William Blount High School, has 4 points on the 3-point average. but like you say, Joe, he averages several, about 8 points a game when he plays. Reggie Thomas with the ball for Roanoke. He fakes, drives, passes off to Abernathy, and the shot is good. Abernathy gets the layup. Dan Kirkpatrick called for the foul, and that'll be his fourth. Scots with 3 players with 4 fouls each. Raymond Burnett comes out. Kirkpatrick stays in. Tyrone Matthews comes in for Burnett. That's Abernathy's 18th point. A little over his usual output of 16 points a game. Reggie Thomas still the disappointment for Roanoke. He only has 6 on a 16.7 average. None in the second half. Abernathy at the line. His team leads by 2. Now 3. Completes the 3-point play. Scots down by 3, 49-46. 2:40 left in the game. Need a basket here. Scots are undefeated so far at home this year, and beat Roanoke in their first meeting in Roanoke. D'Angelo McDaniel fakes, turns, drives, shoots. It's good. Number 30, D'Angelo McDaniel with his 15th point, averaging a little over 20 a game. Scots now trail by just 1 with 2:20 left in the game. Roanoke working the ball with a 1-point lead. Lowry with the ball. Mills covers him tightly all the way out to half court. Thomas over to Abernathy. Back to Lowry, back to Thomas. Abernathy in the corner, starts to drive. Drives in on Kirkpatrick, pulls up. Kirkpatrick's got 4 fouls. He couldn't press him too tightly. Abernathy guns it up from 14 and gets it. That's his 21st point. And Roanoke goes back up by 3 with less than 2 minutes to go in the game now. Scott's looking to cut that lead. In the corner, Jeff White. It's good. Jeff White hits his 6th point. He's got 2 in a row here in the second half. And a crucial basket for the Scots. They only trail by 1 now with 1:30 left in the game. Clutch shooting by the freshman. Tyrone Matthews plays the defense tightly. He's got 4 fouls, and so does Mills. But they still press Roanoke with only 1:15 left to go. Scots trail by 1. Roanoke has the ball. That's Thomas. Reggie Thomas with the ball, drives on Jeff White. Over to Abernathy. He starts to drive, but pulls back out. Ball across court to Rocco, number 50. He's been a hot shooter with 20 points. Thomas with it. Back to Lowry. Roanoke working the ball around the court. Less than 1 minute now. Scots trail by 1, 51-50. Gonna stall the ball. Tyrone Matthews reached around. No foul call. Reaches around again. Tipped out, but Scots can't come up with it. Roanoke with the ball. 34. 51-50. Roanoke leads. And the foul called on Tyrone Matthews. That'll be his 5th. Matthews playing the tight defense with 28 seconds to go as the Scots trail by 1. Matthews fouls out with 12 big points for the Scots. Roanoke will be at the line for 1-1, leading by 1 point. 51-50, 28 seconds to go here at Maryville College. Thomas, number 20, will be at the line, and he's probably not the man you want at the line. He's shooting 80% from the free throw stripe. Referee calls the players back out to the court. Burnett checks in for Tyrone Matthews from Maryville College. Maryville College has Kirkpatrick with 4 fouls on the floor. Tyrone Matthews just fouled out. Paul Mills also has 4 fouls on the floor for the Scots with 28 seconds to go. Thomas at the line for 1-1. Pressure situation. But that's probably the man they want there. He's the senior, All-American potential. And a timeout called by the Scots, wanting to put the pressure on Thomas. With timeout, the score 51-50. The Scots trail by 1 with 28 seconds to go in the game. back at Maryville College. 28 seconds to go in the game. Scots trail by 1, 51-50. For Roanoke College, Reggie Thomas will be at the line to shoot 1 and 1. And the pressure's on him, Joe.
Well, he's had plenty of time to think about it right here, and timeout, as you said, was to get him a little bit more. Ball game's in his hands right here. A 3-point lead at this point would not be insurmountable, but would definitely put them at an advantage.
The Scots, their biggest lead here in the second half has only been by 2. Roanoke led in the first half by 7 points, led it by 6 at halftime. The teams are through talking strategy, if there is any this late in the game, and are back out on the floor set to go. Thomas alone at the top of the key thinking about those foul shots. Maryville College students in the corner starting to yell at him. Thomas for the first shot. It's good. 52-50, Roanoke leads. Reggie Thomas with his first point here in the second half. He has 7 total for the game. Pressure, second shot. Guns it home. 3-point lead, 53-50 for Roanoke. Mills pushes it back up the floor in a hurry. 25 to go here in the game. Maryville College needs a quick basket. Ray Burnett from 15 outside strings. Ray Burnett with the pressure shot, and immediately Maryville College calls the timeout. They trail by 1 point, 17 seconds to go. I would expect, Joe, we'll see Maryville College with the foul fairly quickly here to send them to the line for the 1 and 1.
Yeah, they'll have to sit down right now and decide who they're going to foul, make the matchups, but they've got to worry about the fact that Sticks has got 4 fouls. Paul Mills is playing with 4 fouls. They've got some other people that have got less fouls than that. One of the problems with that, though, is Jeff White. He's the one that's been guarding Reggie Thomas the last few times down court. But Reggie Thomas, Jeff doesn't have any fouls. But Reggie Thomas is not the man you want to foul, so they'll either switch up a defensive assignment and go straight for the foul, or we'll just have to wait and see what happens. 17
seconds left to go. Roanoke will have the ball. Scots trail by 1 here at Maryville College. And if they get the chance to shoot the game winner at the buzzer, who will it be for Maryville College most likely?
Well, Burnett's been cold. Paul Mills has shot in spurts tonight. You got to go with the money, getting it inside. D'Angelo probably, if they can get it inside. They're going to obviously try and deny the ball if they do get the chance to go for a Tyra win up here this late.
Players set back on the floor.
Ray Burnett's got the shot. He's just not been hitting it tonight. Maybe the last time he found got the lid off. That was his first 2 points, and he's been averaging double figures.
Roanoke works the ball in bounds. That's Rocco with 17 seconds to go. Clock starts. Thomas, and they get the foul. I'm not sure who they called it on. Burnett raised his hand, but he was pointing at Mills. And they call it on Ray Burnett. He holds the Roanoke player. Send them to the line for the 1 and 1. With 15 seconds to go, the Scots trail by 1 point. But again, that's Thomas at the line. They got the ball to him down in the corner. That's the man they want at the line, shooting 80%. And he just nailed 2 a minute ago. 15 seconds to go. Thomas hits the front end. 2-point lead, 54-52 for Roanoke. Thomas for the second shot. It rolls, but it goes in. D'Angelo McDaniel gets the ball, throws it into Mills. Mills racing down court at 12. Mills from top of the key. Shot won't go. Abernathy with the rebound. Jeff White steals it, shoots from 15, it won't go. Dan Kirkpatrick with the rebound, it goes. 2 seconds left, the Scots call a timeout. They trail by 1 point with 2 seconds to go. Had several shots there with less than 10 seconds to go, and Kirkpatrick finally put it back in.
Well, it would have been nice to not waste so many shots there and get it on in the basket first time. That was their chance. Now they got to foul real quick, and then just even if they do miss one of the 2 free throws or both of them, they just got to hope for a Hail Mary pass on down and an easy shot inside or a long half-court shot.
Roanoke's big man here in the last 30 seconds has been Reggie Thomas. He's hit 4 foul shots, both on the 1 and 1, to give Roanoke that 1 point lead at 55-44. You see the time there, 2 seconds left to go. Roanoke will probably be looking to throw it in to Thomas. They
Well,
want him to have the ball and go to the line again.
That's true. He's a 80% free throw shooter. Shane Abernathy is shooting just a bit under 80%. He's another one that they don't want to get to the line. You can go down from there. Small is shooting 70. Rocco only 47, despite the fact that he's been quite a shooter from the field. It's just not a good plan right here. This is where the coach can not have a whole lot to do.
And they'll have that low man on the percentage throw it in bounds. Everybody back. They're going to rifle it down court. The steal. Mills guns it up at the buzzer. It hits the backboard, but won't go in. Roanoke wins as the buzzer sounds, 55-44. Players shake hands. The Scots lose their first game of the season here on their home court. And their record goes to 11-5 now, 7-2 in the ODAC. Roanoke College boosts their record in the ODAC to 6-3 and now trails Maryville College by a full game. Some words exchanged here at the bench.